you were speaking to Barack Obama, President of the United States of America. I'm like,
You literally hung up on Barack Obama
yeah. So because I didn't believe it. I've never told that story really.
after Pilato was appointed. Some people thought you'd also be appointed.
Oh yeah.
Did you get frustrated that you're not appointed?
I am dissatisfied about a good number of things, currently. So if you see me vying for a parliamentary position in 2026, don't get too shocked.
I just wonder which constituency.
Interestingly,
So that's what you can look out for on today's edition of On the Table. Welcome to it. I'm your host. My name is Chimweka, or simply Chimweka, aka Chilla 3. Now, my guest today, very, very special guest for me, and I'll explain why. But I think a lot of us have known him for the music that he's been doing, music that inspires change, being a humanitarian himself, advocating for social justice, and a multi-award-winning artist. And now also joins us for the first time in his capacity as leader of the Zambia Association of Musicians. Allow me to welcome the one and only B-Flow. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Great to have you. Great to have you.
It's good to be here.
After a very long time.
A very, very long
I
time.
don't know if you can remember the last time you were on my show.
No, I can't remember. Was it the one that we shot somewhere in Olympia?
Yes.
That was the last time?
Yes.
Hey, that's a long time ago.
I think that was the last time. But do you remember the first time?
The very first time it was at a college.
Oh my goodness.
Was that like the beginning of the show? Oh yeah.
Yes. and that's what I was saying. It's a special guest for me because you're one of like the first big names that I hosted on this platform. And for me, I don't take that for granted because at that time, it was very difficult to get like big names on any show really. At the time, the station was coming up.
Yeah.
And I can understand a lot of younger broadcasters who go through that. People who come up with podcasts now.
Yeah.
They experience the same challenge because they always ask me about this. How did you manage and all of that? But even just you agreeing,
Yeah.
for me, I feel like that said a lot about you. And sometimes I wonder, like, okay, what made him agree to be on this little known station? He doesn't even know where it's airing. But
Yeah. I think generally when I look back at where we're coming from, just next door here, where you guys are situated, the days of the Post newspaper. I remember saying yes to doing a lot of newspaper interviews and TV interviews and radio interviews and curtain raising, people's events.
Yes.
And once my name started to make sense in the people's ears, I then realized that I didn't even know what exactly it is that made me break through or break out. Yeah, so basically, I was just available to do what I needed to do, what I was called for, and that's it. So if someone asks me to say, so at what point did your breakthrough happen? I don't even know. So I think for me, that speaks to the importance of preparedness and just being ready for the assignment. So I was just ready. So even when that call came,
Yeah.
I just said, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now getting to even the second time we did the interview, now at the place in Olympia. And
That one I remember vividly.
what do you remember about that one?
I can't remember the exact context,
Yeah.
but I think I remember. Maybe I think I was defending myself, maybe for or against a narrative, maybe. Yeah, I can't remember what exactly it was, but yeah.
And you see, and even when that got out, right? And I remember what you told me. I think you're one of the first artists to mention this, saying you've got like I've got an eye for showbiz, or you've got your head out when it comes to showbiz, and you're like, keep it up. And this was like the first time
Oh yeah.
that came about, because a lot of the time, and sometimes it still happens now, where a guest will come through, maybe they'll say something that eventually will not be received well by the public.
Yeah.
And then they'll sort of want to like put it on the host
Yes.
and all of that. But they're the ones who said it, they said it themselves. So you'd think that's what B-Flow is going to say, but B-Flow just says, you know what, this is amazing. This is great. So you've also had a knack for showbiz, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so. I think I do have some foresight, and I usually get to see the potential. You know, lots of people. I've had a good number of people say, "Oh, you once were able to shine a light on me at a
Yeah.
time when other people didn't really see the potential."
Yeah.
I've heard a few artists also mention something like, "Oh, there's an artist. I think it was B1. One time he was being interviewed on one radio station, and he was asked, so when you did the song Perfecto, uh, how did your fellow artists respond? Like when once you played it to them the first time, once they heard it?"
Yeah.
And he mentioned to say, "Well, I can't remember lots of them, but I remember B-Flow calling me and saying, this song is going to be a big song
Yeah.
or something." Yeah,
And
so
you
I
were in
think
the video, right?
yes, I was.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah. So, but I listened to it before I got invited
Yes.
for the video shoot. In fact, the video shoot, B1 had nothing to do with it. It was Sirex, the videographer, that called me and thought I was going to be a good fit for whatever characters they were looking for.
Ah,
Yeah.
great, it's great. And I also, I think at that time, there was a lot of talk around B-Flow's outfits. I think there was one that she wore was like a waistcoat and whatever. Like, when you look back, don't you think back like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking?
Well, I think I do. I think I do. But you know, as humans, we grow. We develop. Sometimes this development takes place as a result of your surrounding and the people that you surround yourself with. Sometimes it could be you meet a partner who's maybe more fashionable, or who sees the potential. They may laugh with the rest of the world, but they see the potential. They're like, "But you've got the potential to do something great," you know. Like I remember when during my graduation at the Zambia Institute of Diplomacy and International Studies, ZIDIS. I wore a suit that was considered a brown envelope. That's what they called it.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
You know, so at that particular time, we had a whole plan with a fashion designer. And in fact, it was the fashion designer's idea that they wanted to make me an outfit that they think was unique, and that this particular outfit, you've not seen anything like it in Zambia. I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So trust me, trust my judgment." And they did their thing. They're like, "This is international. Trust me, you're going to be a trendsetter. And after this, everyone will be rocking this." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, let's do it." But guess what? When the backlash came, the designer didn't want to be part of the story.
Really?
She literally said, "Please don't mention my name in this. It's going to affect my business and whatnot." But it was affecting my brand as well. I'm like, "No, but this is you. It was even your idea.
Yeah.
I might as well just credit you and say this was done by this person." She refused. I'm like, "Okay, it's okay. I'll take the jobs alone."
So to this day, she doesn't want to be. She eventually like give it out like this is who it is or give a hint.
You know, I tried to suggest it to her. I'm like, you can make something that Zambians will appreciate, and then we can do a before and after to say, "Oh, this is the same designer that did this, but now they've done it better." And she was too scared of what she considered the toxicity on social media.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was that Harris Nation, Harris the stylist, saw an opportunity and he was like, "You know what? I want to do something for you."
Yeah.
And he made a very dapper looking fit, and we did a photo shoot with a guy called Muko, and that photo shoot just went viral in a good sense. And they're like, "Oh, he's improved and whatnot." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's what's up." Yeah.
And you know, it's lovely how you also like embrace the moment. Because and that's why I was saying that sometimes when these things happen to people,
Yeah.
they come out so defensive and they want to attack people and make all these clapbacks. But sometimes you can just laugh at it yourself and
Yes,
the
yes.
moment out of it.
So whenever I saw a meme, I started reposting the memes. And it's one of the reasons I think even my page really grew, because people started having fun with it and they were looking forward to seeing the next meme.
Yes.
But also the meme makers also took advantage because they knew that if they make a meme, I will post it and a lot of people would come and see it. And so they would usually put their
Names or whatever.
yeah. So eventually that in a way would also have a trickle down effect on their numbers as well. So people kept doing it more and more, but there were so many other memes now and everything was like Obama centered.
Yeah. No, I think it's I think I've adopted that along the way. Plus, I've got so many kids and so many baby mamas. It's like, okay, fine, let's go with it. I mean, every day is like there's a new number. Okay, fine, let's let's run with it.
I like how you do it, but you don't even respond. That's what I've noticed about you.
Yeah. I mean, just play around with it. Like, some people see me take a photo with someone. Oh, is that the new one? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's good that you've met her. But what kind of did you like ever have like a personal relationship with Obama? Like where you have like maybe each other's WhatsApp numbers or something like that?
Yes, we did. So between 2017 and 2018.
Okay.
So 2015 was the year when we had that moment.
Yes.
And even that also, by the way, came with its own memes because what happened was whenever I tried to shine a light on my own milestone or achievement, someone would always say, abana beve, abana wo, this one also, and the Obama stories, you know. But for me, it was a proud moment. Here is this guy who lost his mom and gets to achieve something that he never imagined he would achieve in life, you know. Whether it was just, you know, coming from a small town like Kabwe, never imagine yourself going to even a country like Malawi, for example, right? But then you find yourself going all the way to a country that you would only watch on TV and had a different picture of, you know, like for me, the picture was that's the country where you see cars dancing, you know, like what we would watch in the in the music videos and, you know, the African American movies and whatnot. And so the disbelief of being there, and then on top of it, there's also, you know, all this, you know, being recognized and whatnot. Yeah, so that also came with its own controversy. Banabeve. So there was a lot of Obama doesn't even remember you, you know. Yeah. So there was that. But so what happened was before that moment happened, there was actually a phone call that came from the White House.
Okay.
So a lady called and said, "Oh, someone wants to speak to you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She said, I'm calling you from the White House, and someone wants to speak to you." Okay. So I hear this voice. Hello, is this Brian? Yeah. This is Brian. So you're speaking to Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America. I'm like, beans. I'm like, in historia mkabuki, yeah, this is not true. So I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's a prank. Maybe within one of the like Mandela Washington fellows like that were there at the time. So I hung up, and then she called again and said, "Oh, please just pay attention. You are truly speaking to the president, and he doesn't have time for the back and forth."
You literally hung up on Barack Obama.
Yeah, so because I didn't believe it. So then they bring him back on, and then he says, I'm beginning to believe it, but then he says, now before you get too excited, I just want to know how you pronounce your last name. So I said, Wembia, and they says, that's it, thank you very much. And then they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, so what's going on? So it only made sense to me when he tried to pronounce my name in the speech. So that's what made sense for me. So that was the first time communicating before that moment, and also before what transpired
I knew
after.
that story, eh?
Yeah, I've never told that story really. Yeah, so then 2016 was the last year of Obama in office, and then so it was done, and that at that point, the communication now began officially, but that's the moment where I was experiencing Anako Ivala, or he's even forgotten about you, don't claim, and whatnot and whatnot. And then at the end of 2016, getting into 2017, I got an invite to go to Chicago because now they had moved from Washington D.C. where the White House is, because now they were now moving to Chicago. So 2017 they were now in Chicago, and so I was invited to participate in the launch of the Obama Foundation, which is there now, and also they launched what they called the inaugural Obama Summit. Yeah, so that's the moment where I think that's the moment where I got to experience the one-on-one now, where you're able to, get invited home and you have dinner and whatnot. I think that's when now the Dear Mama Dining with Kings and Queens actually makes sense. So I think in that moment, some of the people that were saying, "Oh, he doesn't even remember you," I think maybe that at that point, when I posted some pictures from the Obama Foundation and the Obama Summit, that's when it became a bit more believable. Yeah. So yeah, so we did communicate in that, especially in that period. At this point, I do have a number, but that's not the number that's on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I also do get a lot of updates from by email in terms of what they're working on currently. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe that's like maybe like just for calls or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fair enough. Now, you are leader of the Zambia Association of Musicians. But before we even get into that, you recently released a song, "Wine It," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? What is it like? Also, maintaining that balance, because I mean, you're the president of the musicians. I think a lot of people would expect you to like, okay, we like take a seat back,
Yeah. Like yeah.
actively releasing music, but
Yeah.
you're still putting out music.
Yeah, well, I attempted to put out a song, and it's actually a song that I recorded some time back. I recorded it in Oslo, in Norway, and it was never released. So I said, let me release this song officially, and I did a visualizer, and the comments are not good. And the comments were not good, So yeah, people just didn't like it, and I think I saw comments like, "No, it sounds like I don't know if it's 2015 or something, or music has changed. What? Just stick to being president and all these things." Yeah. So I think that kind of demotivated me from promoting it, but I'm still proud of it. I love the song. Yeah, it's a song that I recorded with all my heart. Usually it's like that for artistry, and artists do have moments where you do a song, it doesn't really work, but that doesn't mean you don't like the song yourself, because for you to make the decision to even put it out, it means that you appreciate the effort that you put in. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I'm not putting out any more music. I am definitely releasing some more music. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like some
I know
new
that.
beat flow music, like
Yeah.
the current beat flow.
Yes. Like some new beat flow music. Even collaborating with some of the what you would call the new school artists. That's something I'd like to do. There has been a narrative over the years that the ZAM presidency is a preserve of retired artists or way older artists. Yeah. So I think even my coming in is a bit of a shock to a lot of people, especially within the industry, because I think they knew how it was back in the day, where usually it was like, oh, you needed to be a certain category of an artist, particularly like pre 2000s, like people that were making music in the 90s. Are usually the ones that would be in those circles, and I understand that mainly was because the association itself was established in 1979, and some of the people that started the association are still alive. And so there are some people that I think they were mentoring who are also way older than me, who also did music maybe in the 80s and 90s, that would always ascend to to this position. And so it became a trend. So there were times in the past when we would ask artists like JK or Danny, like, why don't you stand? Because you're active. Like, while they were active, you very actively releasing music. Like, why don't you stand? It would be nice to have you represent us. And they would always say, no, it's for, So yeah, that was the narrative. So yeah, we thought we could also maybe create a new tradition that would pave way for other people that would also say, okay, I can also vie for this position. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for someone like Frank Rowe today to wake up and say, you know what, I want to contest, I want to vie for the ZAM presidency because I feel I know something about the current trends in music, whether it's the streaming, or anything else that whether it's monetization. And I would like to attempt. And if the younger generation artists, the Vincenzos and the Chile ones and many others, feel they want to rally behind him and they can do it, numbers don't lie, and he can definitely become ZAM president. I think that's what we're trying to say. We're trying to say it's not about your age, it's about your substance. So anyone can go for it. I think I reached out to Kandeke. I asked him some time back if he would want to run. The time we were running for these positions, I wanted him to maybe position himself and try to do something. He's an artist manager. He might as well try to get into arts administration as well, and manage, the association or the industry. And I think he wasn't ready, but yeah, but that's what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning a balance between the older generation and the younger generation. Yeah.
Okay. Getting back to the release of Wine It, you mentioned that you love the song personally, but it wasn't well received. In your career, have you experienced the opposite, where you didn't really like the song, you put it out, but the country loved it?
Yeah. So one of my biggest songs is called "Cry of a Woman."
Yes.
Yeah. So when I look back at 2012, I went to Luansha and had this experience that inspired me to write the song.
Yeah.
I wrote the song, came and recorded it alone, and then I was like, pretty much the reason I recorded that song in that style, I would have loved to do it the B flow style, but I wanted to do it in the Zambian style, which at the time we were calling punkutupua. So that was the sound at the time. So that was the sound at the time, and I felt I needed to do a song in this direction because people seem to love it. So I was doing it for the people, but in terms of the message, I really was genuinely doing it because of what I heard from that lady that narrated the story,
And I recently found out that was a true story with who, Chameleon?
Yeah, Chameleon, yeah, because we had a show together. And I'm saying this with his permission because now finally he's allowed me. He's like, you can tell the people that you sang about me. Yeah, so we made that song, and initially I recorded with TK alone, and I felt maybe the beat didn't sit the way I wanted it to sit. So I shared the idea with KB, and we managed to make the beat that I was really looking for. So I pretty much like co-produced it. I directed the production, and we did the song. Then I said, you know what? I think we need to have a female voice that will represent the voice of that woman that narrated the story. And I thought, should I work with Mampi? I was like, maybe. I needed a voice that would be very. I don't want to use the wrong word that would make it look like I didn't want Mampi to be on the song, but I didn't feel it was the right song for Mampi.
Okay.
I had a very good relationship with Kachanana, who I collaborated with back in 2008, 2009 on Bubblegum Lava, but still I felt the song didn't need a strong voice. It needed a very soulful, very soft voice. Maybe today I would say Wezi. Wezi didn't exist at the time. Yeah, so I would say Wezi maybe like
In the mainstream industry, by the way, she was born.
oh yeah. She didn't exist in the mainstream music industry. Yeah. So I was like, you know what, KB is actually working with Judy. Let me try Judy.
Yeah.
So we tried it with Judy. While we were recording, Judy even gave up because I don't know whether the song became so emotional for her and she broke down while we were recording. So the last verse of the song, the nangunde imbo lwimbo de umfila mwechikonko pantuneka te. That part we were supposed to be exchanging. She couldn't reach that far, so she only ended on the second verse, and so I was like, let's keep it the way it is. Yeah, but that was an experiment. So that's a song that I wouldn't say I really liked myself. I was just trying out that sound, but people loved it so much that to this day I think it stands as one of my biggest songs. Yeah.
Amazing. Let's take a break. After the break, we're still hanging out with B Flow. We'll talk more about arts administration and his role in it. Are you afraid of burning bridges while you are in your position of ZAM president or chairman?
Not that I mean to mention. For example, if people that come from Kabwe, where I'm from,
Yes.
seemingly, bickering and fighting, and they're doing it in public, and somehow it makes the industry look bad.
After Pilato was appointed, some people thought you'd also be appointed.
Oh yeah.
Did you get frustrated that you're not appointed?
I am dissatisfied about a good number of things, currently. So if you see me vying for a parliamentary position in 2026, don't get too shocked.
I just wonder which constituency.
Interestingly,
just you're watching On the Table, my guest is B Flow, who is the leader of the Zambia Association of Musicians. Now, I keep saying leader because what is the official title? What's your official title? Are you ZAM chairman? Are you ZAM president? What's your official title?
Okay, so constitutionally, I am the chairman. I am the chairperson of the Zambia Association of Musicians. So the constitution that we're talking about is from 21 years ago. Yeah, but over the years, some things had changed. So when Michael Zulu came in as president or as chairperson around 2010, the title changed to president. And so I think officially he was the first person we called president uh, from 1979 to 2010 when Michael Zulu came in. So Michael Zulu did 2010 to 2012, and then he did 2012 to 2014, 2 terms. And then Joya T came in, and we still address him as ZAM president. Then we had Tivo Shikapwasha, and then we had Davidson Monsanda. Now you have Brian Wimbia. Yeah.
And I've seen that you've been very rigorous with the advocating for people to be members.
I call it the membership drive.
The membership drive. and I guess also because you've got a wide following that also helps people and helps reach so many people. But again, it makes us realize how many artists people know who have not been members of or who are not paid up members of the association.
Yeah.
But when you interact with them, why do you think this has been the case? Because I'm seeing people like Chameleon just recently member like all these years.
Yeah, so when we've had people like Chameleon sign up for membership finally officially, when you have even new cats like Case Adams, Frank Rowe, Chilewan, Kandeke. You have people like Yomaps. You have people like Vincenzo signing up. You have people like even not so new in the industry like Bobby is signing up and saying, "Oh, we want to be a part of this." We have people like J-Rocks signing up. When I've spoken to some of them, not everyone has given me a reason. Some of them have just said, "Oh, finally, I feel the need to be a part of it because I feel represented." So that to me is interpreted as someone is saying because you are maybe an artist that they can relate with, maybe you are in their generation, or you're someone who understand because you've walked the journey according to them. Not that the ones who came before me had not walked the journey. Then others have pretty much said for them it never made sense, but now it makes sense. That's what they have said. That's not me saying it. We've also heard people who say when I have done interviews, like I did one interview, I think on the Red Hot Breakfast, and we had a lot of people signing up just after that interview. I did it with our Vice President, KB. And on that day, a lot of people called and they said, finally, I'm convinced. Finally, I'm sold, because they felt, in as much as we may have had good people sitting in this position, sometimes maybe they never pronounced or marketed the association and its benefits to a point where someone truly understands. They'll just hear, okay, Zambia Association is ZAM, okay, but what really is ZAM, and what's the mandate, and what are the benefits? So I think we've been intentional about that, partly because we've also been inside and even truly appreciated what ZAM can do, but others have been outside and they've shut down the association without necessarily understanding the importance of belonging to it. That whole Obama story that we were talking about would not have happened had I not been a member of the association, because it was during an association meeting that I met an American citizen who told me about the Mandela Washington Fellowship, which took me to the US, and eventually, subsequently, I met Obama. So for me, I credit the association for so many things that other people might not understand. It's through the Zambia Association of Musicians that I also met Honorable Inonge Wina, who I actually credit for being the person that sparked the decision for me to move from just making music merely for entertainment to making music for advocacy, because back in 2011, when she got appointed as Minister of Gender and Child Development at the time, she attended a Zambia Association of Musicians meeting as a guest of honor, and she came and challenged us about the statistics of gender-based violence in the country. And for me, I was like, what? Wait a minute. I was raised by a single mother, and then there's this situation in the nation. Why can't I do something about it? And at the beginning of 2012, I started recording an album called Voiceless Woman, and that album also pretty much took me everywhere around the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for me, this association is really dear to my heart.
From my understanding, because Zambia is under the National Arts Council, right?
You could say that.
So, how much of these decisions are you able to make without the approval of the National Arts Council?
So the National Arts Council does not approve the decisions that we make as the Zambia Association of Musicians.
Okay.
Yeah, so ZAM is an independent association that affiliates to the National Arts Council. Yeah, so there have also been times when the National Arts Council has suspended our affiliation to them, but that doesn't mean we cease to exist. Yeah, so we do exist independently,
Okay.
but we are affiliated to the National Arts Council, which is an act of parliament.
Yes.
Yeah, so our decisions are independent as long as they're also in line with the National Arts Act, because we are affiliated to them. So when the National Arts Council feels we're making decisions that are not in line with what the act stipulates, those are the moments when then they'll have a query. And because we're affiliated to the council, we have to then make some adjustments. But we make our own decisions based on what we feel and know is right for our sector, which is music. There are artists who went on tour, for example, for a period of 6 months around the world because of the association, because of an opportunity that the association created for them, and maybe no one knew about it. There were times even in the past when artists would go to Algeria, they would go to the US, they would go to Australia and do events. Other people would go for festivals in Germany through the association, but that just wasn't highlighted. And so sometimes when you see artists traveling today, you start to think that, my artist bambanoenda, but people were traveling even back in the 80s, the likes of Anna Mwale, in the 90s, the likes of Maureen Lilanda. By the way, Maureen Lilanda is a former president of ZAM. Yeah, she's the one that came just before Michael Zulu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the association advances the interests of artists. It can also create opportunities for things like festivals. There are times when we send artists out and you just don't know. Recently, we had James Sakala go to Japan, and maybe people just didn't even know that.
That was through ZAM?
ZAM, under our administration, recently James Sakala was in Japan.
So also, like, what's the criteria for who gets sent out?
So the criteria is you have to be a paid-up member. So from where I sit, every Zambian musician is a member of ZAM. But if you haven't activated your membership by way of paying your subscription fees, it's like you are a lawyer in Zambia, right? But you have to pay your annual subscription to the Law Association of Zambia.
Yes.
But
yes,
that,
okay.
yeah, so, but you're still a lawyer, even if you haven't paid, but you won't be able to have certain privileges, or you won't be allowed to maybe practice, and that's the difference. In our case, we are not yet, what's the correct word? We are not yet transitioned to become like a professional body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regulatory body.
A regulatory body. So we are membership based, just like LAS is. Yeah, but we don't regulate. And that then answers the question we get to receive sometimes, where people will say, oh, that artist was doing or saying A, B, C, D. Why don't you whip them? Does it mean ZAM does not have teeth?
Or you're scared of this artist?
Why are you scared of this artist? So we provide guidance. If the artist doesn't go with the guidance that we provide, then there's not much that we can do. It means that now it will go to the next level. It means that then it's the law that will have to take its course, or or the law of morality, maybe, or what's culturally acceptable, then you leave it to play out. You would have done your part. But what we can do is we can suspend the membership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the point of the power that comes with the Zambia Association of Musicians, or it having teeth, comes in. That there isn't much, because you don't have that much of the regulatory power, authority to do some of these things. So
Yeah.
that sort of limits you.
But we're getting there, and that's part of the vision. Yeah, that's part of the vision, to move a motion in Parliament for ZAM to be an act of Parliament and on its own independently, for it to become like what the National Arts Council is, like a council, like where you can have that regulatory power as well.
So can NAC take regulatory action on artists?
No, but they can take regulatory action on their member entities, because NAC does not register artists, ZAM does.
ZAM does.
Yeah, so NAC registers entities. You have to be a body, you have to be a group of people coming together, registered, and then you say, we want to affiliate to NAC or want to register under NAC.
Okay.
So yeah, they don't register individuals.
Okay.
So you can't be an individual artist and say, I'm a member of NAC. But ZAM can say, I'm a member of NAC.
While you're, and still on that point of people expecting you to take certain action or say something about what an artist has said or done, are you afraid of burning bridges while you're in your position of ZAM president or chairman?
Burning bridges as an individual?
Yes.
Well, I think burning bridges is,
Or relationships, however we can put it.
yeah, well, losing good relationships is not a good thing, but also it comes with the territory. Sometimes the idea is to make sure that everyone is united and in one accord. But artists, being they're in a space where sometimes for them to promote their brands and their products, in this case being the content, the music, they might do certain things to try and position themselves a certain way. And that in itself may also have an impact or a negative effect on others in the industry or the competitiveness of the industry. And when that happens, it puts ZAM in an awkward position, because you have these artists pushing their agenda and trying to promote themselves. And then there's also the industry that feels affected by what this artist could possibly be trying to achieve. And so you're trying to mediate and strike a balance, but either side may be injured. This other side is feeling like, oh, why are you not guiding this person?
Yes.
This person is also feeling like, oh, okay, like why are you guys concerned about this? Why don't you deal with those guys? Because what they are saying, what they're doing there is it's not right. Like they're
I know a few cases in point.
Oh yes. So as an individual, I don't want to burn bridges, but it's also inevitable. It may happen, especially if the persons or the person involved or concerned in that moment may feel emotional about it, and they may not understand that for me, I'm trying to do something either to protect them or to protect the industry. Because there are sometimes when we also, as an executive, want to protect a member because we feel like their actions might eat them up either in future or it might have a negative impact on their brand. And so we're trying to protect them, but they won't see it that way because they're feeling like you're stopping them from doing what will advance whatever it is they're trying to achieve. Yeah, so burning bridges might be inevitable. It's not intentional, but it may happen. Yeah.
So you've been in a position where you've had to stop some of these fights between artists.
We've had to broker some talks here and there. Some of the situations are done in the background, especially when they involve people that you would consider like family,
Yes.
Not that I mean to mention, for example, if people that come from Kabwe, where I'm from,
Yes.
seemingly, bickering and fighting, and they're doing it in public, and somehow it makes the industry look bad, or it makes one of the two look bad in the eyes of the public that might not even know the background. Maybe I have an idea of the background. In such cases, we also want to try and guys like, why don't we, get together? But also away from even Kabwe, in this case, we also have many other situations where in the industry there is a misunderstanding. Some of the misunderstandings are even just between artists and music promoters or event managers. Maybe an artist never got paid, or they feel someone swindled them, and we have all these engagements, interactions to make sure that they get their money. Sometimes we have some embarrassing moments. We have an artist who's been locked up. We have an artist who was maybe caught on camera, um, drunk as a skunk, and we are trying to negotiate that that shouldn't go out there. There are so many things that do happen in the background that people are not even privy to. But yeah, so the association does a lot. I did a bit of research on similar associations like the American Federation of Musicians and the Ugandan Federation of Musicians and also the Tanzanian and several others. And I found that the challenges are usually similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're usually similar. Usually it would be artists, because usually an artist comes on the scene without going to get registered with ZAM.
Yes.
So you're independent. And then suddenly you learn that, oh, you need to be a member of ZAM. You're like, I don't see the benefits. So it's the same world over. People feel that way, but until they really learn the benefits. So now the challenge is on those that are serving to find a way of bringing people on board.
From my understanding, one of the benefits is there's a funeral policy, right?
Yeah.
In place. So does this mean we're likely to see an end where people have to start putting money together in groups when an artist dies and all these things? Because that has been the norm.
Yeah, so we are likely to see that. In fact, we are already seeing that, and we're going to see that. It's just there's a culture that we need to introduce, that we're already introducing, but we need to embrace it. Once we embrace it, it will be good for us. We have had times where, for example, an artist is already on the funeral policy, right? And because they didn't pay the subscription for this particular year, they didn't renew their subscription.
Oh, okay.
They end up then they die and they end up missing out on that benefit, because what happens is that when we receive the membership fees, we remit part of it to the insurance companies. Yeah. So if you haven't paid your membership for this particular year, it means that your insurance is also not active. And so, God forbid you die, that's so unfortunate. But now imagine if you die and you are active and your insurance is active, then people will see the benefit. But the begging bowl culture could also be, it's cultural.
Cultural as well.
Yeah, it's an Ubuntu thing where even when a prominent person dies, sometimes some people would still go around and say, oh, if I can point something just for other logistics. Yeah, because the funeral policy may not be the one that will buy the Nshima or will buy the Milli Meal. No pun intended.
Dropping bars yet.
So it's not like the one that will buy the Milli Meal at the funeral. It will be maybe for things like the casket and maybe the burial site, or other things like that. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. As we conclude, I think for a lot of people, when they're looking at where your career was progressing, especially prior to 2021, as I think a lot of people saw you going into politics, national politics. But you continued with the advocacy and continued with the music. Was there consideration from your part to get into active politics?
Initially, people sold the idea to me. They were like, "Oh, we like some of the things that you do in the governance space, and why don't you consider? You can't speak for for life. Where you're just speaking about these issues, you might as well sit in a position where you can actually be the one to implement those ideas that you try to share."
Decision maker now.
Yes. So that idea kept coming for some time. By 2017, there was even a poster that went viral that I was going to run in 2021 for a seat in Kabwe Central. Yeah, so, but after 2020, I have considered it. I have thought about it, that sometimes it can be tiring, especially when you're speaking with people. I don't want to say for people because they need to be like, yeah, the voice for the voiceless. But when you speak with people, like, this is what the people are saying, and that's what I feel too, and then you highlight that because maybe of the platform that you have. Sometimes it gets frustrating, and you think, you know what? I think I might need to get in. Um, so if you see me standing for member of parliament in a constituency to be named later in 2021, don't get shocked.
2026.
No, 2021.
In 2021.
Yeah, I'm just saying if.
Oh, you're confusing me here. Wait. 2021 is gone. So
Sorry, 2026. I get what you mean. Yeah, 2026. Right. Next year. Yeah. So if you see me vying for a parliamentary position in 2026, don't get too shocked.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it might just mean maybe it's about time.
I just wonder which constituency, because I know you've lived in Kabwata constituency.
Oh yeah.
Kabwe Central.
Yeah.
So it's
I've also lived in Munali constituency.
oh yeah.
I've also lived in Serenje Central constituency.
Just making the options very, very broad. Like, okay. Now all the aspiring candidates there just like
Abwela kwatu yo.
what's going on. But also I think people and after Pilato was appointed, some people thought you'd also be appointed.
Oh yeah.
Did you get frustrated that you're not appointed?
No. I never had that expectation. I never had the expectation of getting appointed to any position. I remember though in 2021, I think after the inauguration, there was a list that was circulating that was created by social media where people were just suggesting that this one would be minister of what, this one would be PS for what, and this was for what. So I think for Pilato, whatever was in that rumor is actually what came to happen. For me, what was the rumor never materialized, but that doesn't mean I had the expectation myself. I did see my name on one of those lists. On those lists, I even saw Kalusha Bwala being sports minister. You know, yeah, but I never had that expectation, so I wasn't frustrated. But interestingly, during the current regime, in the current UPND regime, there have been times when I have spoken out on governance issues and I would get backlash that suggests that I am a bitter person because I never got appointed. And the only reason it's like that is because Pilato got an appointment. I don't think that if Pilato was not appointed, we would have been looked at that way, you know. So I think the only reason I receive backlash whenever I try to speak on governance issues, particularly to those that sympathize with the current regime, is simply because, the person that we saw you protesting with in the bush got appointed. So you are now doing this just because you are bitter. But the same narrative was there even during the PF, where not necessarily that there were people that were appointed, but that would suggest that you are a bitter person because you're not happy with this, because you want a change of government, because you belong to that. So even the current regime and some of the, let me not say the entire regime, but some people that are affiliated to the current regime and some of the sympathizers do think and believe that I could be pro-PF. And interestingly, the PF used to think I was pro-UPND because I protested against the governance at that particular time. So today, when I protest in my talks or in my utterances against some of the things that I am dissatisfied about today, I would still be called, no, we know where you belong. You are on the other side. That time I was called a disgruntled youth sponsored by the opposition. Now the opposition is in power, and now that they're in power, they believe I'm also sympathizing with the opposition. So I think for me...
Also, you also get, and I see sometimes even from some comments where people feel like there are all these things going on.
And you're not speaking, you're eating with them.
Eating with them.
There's also that. Yeah, so there's all that. There's all that.
But if you got an offer to be appointed under the UPND, would you take it?
No, I couldn't. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Yeah. The way my tongue just quickly said I couldn't sounds like there was a time when.
I know, right? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Like even if it was like a technocrat position, like the way it is for Pilato. I mean, you're not exactly a politician, but you're in a technocrat position where you're a decision maker in your own right. In this case, for the arts.
No, currently I can't. It's too late. Yeah, currently I can't. I
Not
don't.
even foreign mission to the U.S. where Obama was.
No, it's a bit too late because it means that my term of office would also be limited in the sense that the current mandate of the UPND is up to 2026.
Yes.
So if there is to be a change of government in 2026, it means that there's a possibility that a new government wouldn't embrace the same people because that's been the culture, right? But also, if the UPND is to win again, there's no guarantee that they'll still maintain you because they're also starting a new mandate and they may have, a new way of doing things with a new vision. So I don't think this would be the right time.
So for you, it's mostly on the
Timing.
timing and not exactly because of values. And
No. It's not just the timing, but also it's because I'm also dissatisfied about a lot of things currently, personally, and I'm not speaking as Zam. Yeah, but for me as Brand Wembia, I am dissatisfied about a good number of things, currently, because maybe I also had high expectations and I was expecting certain things to be done better or certain things to be done in a clearer way. And there are some things that I haven't really appreciated. Like I feel there's been an environment of intimidation on those with dissenting voices or those with varying opinions, whether it's activists or politicians. That dissatisfies me. The whole load shedding situation and how it's being managed and how it's never really been clear what the vision is and how it is currently, and even just the utterances made by ministers. Some of those things don't satisfy me, and generally the cost of living, and also when the empathy in me when I speak to people, especially in certain levels of society, and I hear what they're talking about and how they're not happy about certain things, the small businesses, the SMEs, that doesn't make me happy. So because it doesn't make me happy, it's a bit too late for me to, even if I was to get appointed, to do anything about it or contribute ideas and feel they will be worked on and they will materialize. Yeah, so it's maybe if you're going in at the beginning of a tenure and you have ideas that you can contribute, they work, but they can work, and that's if they're embraced. If we are truly listening governments, as we all claim whenever we are in office.
B-Flow, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of On the Table.
Thank you, Chimweka.
I'm joined by B-Flow, the Zambia Association of Musicians president. Well, officially saying president, right? And not chairman, right?
Yes.
Okay, president, who's also multi-award winning artist, has been our guest today. Thank you as well for tuning in to today's show. Let's do this again next week. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, you're watching us on DSTV channel 271, on GoTV channel 20. My name is Chimweka, or simply Chimweka. KH Chile 3. Peace out.